Welcome to Unraveling Relationships, Emotions, and Desires. I am your host, Dr. Sheila Hodwin-Dover. Today, I have the profound honor of welcoming someone deeply special to me, Florence Sutton. She was born in the beautiful twin islands of St. Kitts and Nevis. Get ready to listen to part 3 of the interesting conversation with Florence. Florence overcame early childhood trauma of losing her father to mental illness and became a dedicated social worker, serving as a traveling advocate for 7 years, and is now working at the Veterans Administration to support homeless veterans. Her personal grief fuels her mission to combat stigma and turn her father's legacy into meaningful change. Florence, welcome back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So in our previous session, we focused a lot on your experiences you had dealing with your own personal trauma. Now let's switch gears now and speak about your professional mission and advocacy. Your
Okay.
personal journey has clearly influenced your career path. Who or what inspired you to become a social worker?
I would say, I would say my being a social worker is a calling. And God placed me there because at the time I never really wanted to become a social worker. My thing was social workers don't make no money. That was always my thing, and I wanted to be the professional made some money.
That's funny. That's really funny.
But when I got to Oakwood, again, I keep referencing Oakwood, but that's been very pivotal in my life. And I was actually again being nosy, and it was in Moran Hall where the social workers were gathering, and they have this thing set up where the each department kind of get to share what to expect or what it is like to be a part of the department. And it just so happened that the social department at Moran Hall, I was a freshman, really didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Also knew I didn't want to be in a profession that had a lot of writing,
Mm-hmm.
so that either. And I wanted a life. But I've always wanted to be a teacher. And I was thinking about that. But when I went to Moran Hall and I was kind of just looking around, and it's Dr. Kesselyn Braid at the time, she again persuaded me and encouraged, oh, just come on in and sit there and just listen in and just, if you don't like what you hear. you know, I went up into that place and I was stuck. And that was all she wrote, and I became a social worker um after that. And I would tell anybody that I really truly believe that becoming a social worker has saved my life, um, because it's caused me to understand a lot of my life and the things of my life. So I really
That's it.
truly love social work. And it's not only, I tell people, it's my life, I live it, it's my calling, it's my mission. This is just it's who I am.
So take me back to the first day, social work, first day on the job.
First day on the job of being a social worker. When I did, you have to do these interns when you're a social worker. You have to go and do these internships. Like, your internship, yeah, internships.
Mhm.
Um, and there's a professor. Um, she's Dr. Mavis Braxton at the time, and she's now Dr. Mavis Major. She's another influential person in my life that I even in contact with to today. And she one of the things that we she used to do was she used to work at the hospital, and she was on call. And anything happened at the hospital, and she'll call, and she offered us an opportunity to be on call with her. So if she get a call at 3 o'clock in the morning, she's coming to pick you up. She'll call you and you'll come pick up, and we're going to the hospital with her. And I actually kind of enjoy that, 'cause we saw some things, and you seen all these really interesting cases that you're dealing with. And another one of my internships, and I didn't realize it would lead me to here where I'm at right now, was I actually was dealing with the homeless,
Mhm.
and working with this gentleman, and he went up into the heart, went onto the bridge, and just talking to just talking to those individuals, it caused me to realize that they are just people.
Mm.
Some of them have lost their way. And for some of them, it's a choice. I spoke to this one gentleman who said, I choose to be homeless. I don't want to deal with no bills. I don't want to be trapped. I just don't want to deal with anything. So it affords me to just live my life how I want to. And I said, noted. And some of them have influential families who have money and did not want their families to know where they were. And they were okay with it. And my thing is, as a social worker, we have the right to self-determination. We have to meet people where they are.
Yeah.
And I honor that and I respected that greatly. So that's really kind of my early stages of, I would say, of being on the job but not on the job. My first job out of school as a social worker was working with, it's called Fraser Family Center, but it was a special project that they were starting where social workers were going to the schools and work with children, even though they have their therapists, and work alongside the counselors and everything else. It was a pilot program. So that was like my first experience of working professionally. And it was kind of challenging. It was absolutely challenging. My supervisor didn't really care for me, and I don't know why. And the school that I was in, I felt like there was because I don't believe they were explained to the counselors very well. So they felt a little bit challenged and intimidated, like as if we were coming for their jobs. And
I know what that's like.
And, when we were really on the same team, you know. But I thoroughly enjoy the students that I work with. I remember this one little guy that I was working with, and his teacher was always like, he's a lot of trouble. He doesn't sit well. He doesn't do this and he doesn't do that. And he came in and I was talking with him, and I realized this guy is smart as a whip. And I asked him, so you are so smart as a whip. What's going on with you? And no, and he said, sometimes I get bored. And it makes sense. It clicked. And I went to teach and said, he is advanced. He's bored. He needs to be challenged. And when he's not challenged, he's going to misbehave. And so I made contracts with him, and, and I'm telling you, this guy started thriving. He was doing so well. His teachers even came and said, man, I don't know what you're telling him or what you're doing, but he is doing so very, very well. He's behaving now. He's helping. I said, when he becomes so distracted, get him to help other people because he's surpassed. And it was just a really truly amazing experience for the children that I got to work with. But unfortunately, the job kind of ended. And then I went into, I got a job working in mental health with Family First recipients. And I did counseling and therapy with them, going out and doing home visits. And I really thoroughly enjoy it. I really enjoy even to this day, sometimes when I go back to Memphis and I see they see me. I remember one of my former clients came up to me. She was in the neighborhood where I was visiting, and she recognized me, and I didn't really recognize her because she looked so much different, so transformed. And she said, Miss Florence, I want to say thank you. I said, tell me your name again. And she told me her name. And she said, Miss Florence, you don't remember me? And she recounted the story. And I said, oh, that's you? Because she looked so absolutely completely different. I helped her get into housing, and she got herself together and had a job. And I said, Miss Florence, because of you, I am thriving. I got a car. I got this and I got that. And I'm like, wow, that is amazing.
Wonderful.
And
Yes.
I'm so happy that you're thriving. I'm so happy. It gives you a glimmer of hope.
Yes.
The work that you're doing is making an impact.
Yes.
Because oftentimes you don't really see it.
Sometimes it takes a while to see the results.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do you weave your own history into your work, whether it's advocating for mental health, homelessness solutions, or amplifying marginalized voices, how do you weave your own history into your work?
I think I'm very passionate about the work that I do. Because for one thing, for me,
Mm-hmm.
it's more than a job, it's a ministry.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at everything that I've gone through um, as a stepping stone or as a way of helping me to also advocate. Because if I hadn't gone through all those things, I would not be able to understand people's story as much as I do now. And being able to push and to be a voice for those who have no voice. I think sometimes people may get annoyed because I'm like, when it comes to some of my veterans that I work with, I push really hard for them to make sure they get the things that they need. Because sometimes I realize that sometimes people are so very lost um, that you have to be their voice until they're able to find their own voice.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they're able to find their own voice, then you step back.
Yeah.
Um, and sometimes they don't know what they want because they've been homeless for so long that
Helplessness
learn helplessness.
and hopelessness both.
Helplessness. And so even what next to do, one veteran, I was working with one veteran and he's like, I'm like, well, we need to do you what do you need? And we need to do have you gotten into healthcare and this and that? He said, Ms. Blanc, whatever you do, whatever you tell me to do, I'm just gonna do it.
It's good.
And
You
that
gave
kind
him
of
hope. You gave him hope.
choked me up a little bit. I said, okay. And but at the same time, I don't want to take away that person's right to choose,
Yes.
right? And you want to feel like they're involved in the process. So
Correct.
okay, we're gonna get on the phone, we're gonna call, and we're gonna get you registered because you're not in the system. We're gonna make sure that we see if you get health care. And I said, which one you want to do first? Which one you think I should do first, Ms. Florence? I said, well, let's get you registered. Okay, we did that. We got him registered, and it's like one somebody after the next, and one lady was asking me something, and she was like, she looked at me, Ms. Florence, what should I do? And I said, what do you think you want to do? So I want to do this and I want to do that. I said, okay, well, which one do you think you want to start with first? It's given just the small things
Yes.
to feel like you have some power.
Yes.
It's giving you back your power because you've lost your power,
Mm-hmm.
And so having him to be able to choose, and he was just so thankful. Now he's referring all kind of veterans to me, like call Miss Florence because she gonna help you. Call Miss Florence. Like he bringing people to me now. I'm just like Jesus, but I really my experiences has been
You're
able
actually
to
seeing the benefit of your work. You're actually seeing it.
not only benefit of my work, but also seeing how my pain and everything else, I can help somebody through that pain.
All right.
Because I can actually step into that shoe.
Mm-hmm.
And because even working with homeless veterans, I remember when I became homeless for a short while, when I was getting married and we was promised a job in a place, and we went to my fiance at the time. We went to this place. Come to find out, nothing was done, no apartments, nothing was set up. I was sitting in our car until close to 1 o'clock at night. And the saving grace was we did literature evangelist in that he did literature evangelist state. I remember a family that he worked with who said, if ever you need help, call us. And he called them and they allowed us to come there. But the stress of thinking, what am I going to do?
I know.
Where am I going to bathe? What am I going to, that process alone was enough. Also, when I got divorced and having to leave and having to figure out what am I gonna do, where am I gonna stay, my thought process was, I have a car and I'm gonna live in my car. And that's what I was intending on doing until a church family member was like, no, you'll come and stay with us.
That's
And
wonderful.
so all of those experiences, I understand that process, that stress that comes upon you. Where am I gonna do my next meal? Where am I gonna, it's cold, it's this, it's that. What is gonna happen? Then don't add on to the fact that you may be sick
Mm-hmm.
on top of that. So all of those things, and having mental health issues, telling veterans your mental health issue does not define you.
That's right.
It will never define you because there are actors, and I point out various actors and different professionals who are struggling with mental health issues, but you will never know it.
All right.
Because either they're on medication or they're managing it very, very well. I say if they can do, you can too.
Mm-hmm.
But you just need a little bit of help.
Yes.
And once you stabilize, you can thrive just like these other people are thriving.
That's right. I love how you said that. That just because they were diagnosed with a mental illness does not mean that that's their life. They can
Oh,
still
that's
succeed. They can still succeed. Because one of the things I like to say is you're not your feelings.
right.
You are what your actions define who you are. So even if you feel unstable, you feel upset, it doesn't matter what emotions you're having. It's how you
Right.
your actions are what really determines your success in life. So you could say, yes, you might have to get help to help you deal with your mental illness. But despite the mental illness, you will succeed. It might be more difficult for you, and that's what you've demonstrated, that you've hit rock, well, I wouldn't say rock bottom, close to rock bottom for a few minutes or a few hours, a few days, but you never let it define who you were. You always saw.
And for those who have, because then you see, especially most of the veterans that we work with are men. It's really interesting. Most of them are men that we work with. And for a man to come in and sit with a female, a woman, and to share and to break down. Because
Yes.
some of the things that you cannot do, I put a little bit of my therapy in because I want to see them sometimes break down because they have never cried. Because on the street you cannot.
So
You
you give
have
them a safe place. You provide them with a safe place.
to be able and some of them are like, I can't believe I'm sitting here just breaking. I say, and it's okay. And you're okay to do that because this is a place where you can do that. And then the negative self-talk or I'm this or because you have messed up in life situation where some of this I've called it. I said, okay, and we call a lot of things, but that does not mean we cannot get back up and keep moving.
That's
So
right.
yes, take ownership that you have caused some of these problems that are happening in your life. It is good that you take ownership of that. Okay, because it's important that you take ownership of the fact that where you faulted and where you've messed up.
Yes.
Now you look at the fact now, going forward, what can you do? What would you do to prevent you from going back to where you are? Where you are now. So having to also change their mindset of the negative self-talk is also vitally important. And almost like you said, I'm thinking the first step of them being able to realize their dream of becoming housed again. Because a lot of them do not feel they're deserving or worthy of being housed because they've been homeless for so long, or maybe because they're dual diagnosis or dual
Illness, health challenges.
health challenges, not only health challenges, but mental health challenges, and also drug and alcohol challenges.
Yes.
That compounds. They feel unworthy of being stable. And for the ones that we've allowed and we've been able to, not even allow, but we have been able to help to become stable. The challenge is there is how to get them to stay stable because the self-sabotaging behavior comes back in. Like, I'm so unworthy. I don't deserve this, or I've messed up long enough, but telling them you're worthy, you've come so far.
Yes.
Who is more deserving than you?
That's right.
Who is more deserving than you? And having to be that voice until, again, they're able to then do it for themselves. So I really, I enjoy and
I love that. I love what you're saying. But I have to burst your bubble a little bit. I need to take you back to that early childhood days back in the beautiful Caribbean island of St. Kitts. What did you want to become at that time? Was there a time when you had ideas of what you wanted to become?
So I was thinking about that not too long ago. I wanted to become a teacher or a
Oh,
fashion designer because I was making little sketches, drawing dresses and everything else, and I wanted to be a seamstress. And an opportunity passed me by, or I was not selected for an opportunity, and I was very disheartened and saddened by it. So I don't know how it came about, but there were people in the community were and the young were able to go take sewing classes and different things like that. And I did not know who signed them up, but you could see all the other young people going down together,
wait,
going to
wait,
their
where
sewing
was
class.
that? Was that in St. Kitts?
Wasn't Sankis. Yeah. They had classes and different things like that.
Mhm.
And I don't know how I was not selected, but I sure enough wanted to be. And by the time I found out, it was too late.
Oh,
But
okay.
I sure enough wanted to become a seamstress, and I always wanted to do that. I was a fashion designer, but I
Mhm.
also wanted to become a teacher.
Yes.
Uh, and so that's what I really wanted to be.
Well, it's good to know. I thought I knew well enough, but I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that. But in terms of sewing, my mom taught us to sew. I could say that I was privileged that I had a mom who knew how to sew. But from a little girl, you were always, even though you didn't learn to sew, you were always extremely talented. Take me back to where that creativity came from. Because the first time I noticed how creative you were was when you attended the summer camp or reading workshop. I'm not sure which name I called it at that time. Let me pull it up for a moment, okay? Okay, so I'm taking you back to St. Kitts when you were a little girl.
Okay.
Can you identify yourself in that picture?
I should. I am right by San, and then I was I think the San Jean right there. So on the end with the younger and the blue, then there's Belkis, then there's I think that's Sanjin, and then that's me.
Okay, that was our first workshop. And on the right, there is a dollhouse that you were making with old old milk boxes. You and my sister were making, she was teaching you how to make dollhouse and furniture using, do you remember that day?
Of course I do. I remember make I thoroughly enjoy making that. I wish I could make one now. I did matchbox for beds and curtains and everything else. I mean, that was drawing your curtains. I and Play-Doh and yes, I remember that. And then I took it home and then I wasn't allowed to bring it inside the house, so the rats ate it.
What was that like for you?
I was hurt. I was very hurt because it took a lot of work and I was so proud of it. And I thought maybe that she'll be proud too and excited. But you're also what it taught me that not everybody will share your joy.
Yes.
And so, all your excitement about things. So yeah. But I really was very, very, very hurt. I thought it would have been okay because I thought maybe I might have covered it up well enough
Mhm.
and secured it well enough. Came out and the rats destroyed that thing, shredded it.
So she didn't want it in her house.
Did not want it in the house. So
Were the other emotions you felt around that time, knowing that you felt so much pride in the work that you hadn't done and expecting to be praised, but instead you felt,
I think I was always a shy child, and I tell people now, people are like, "No, you're not." I say, "Yes, I've always been shy.
I
I'm
did not
shy,"
know that.
and I think
I've
it's
never
more.
seen the shy side of you yet.
I've always been shy as a child. I felt very. I think in those times, I felt very insecure. Um, and I could recount my insecurities. Um, I never felt good enough because I was always compared to other people, other children. So I never really ever felt like I was good enough.
How is
Or
it you always appeared to be so confident and comfortable when you were at the afternoon program at the afternoon programs. You was like the life of the party, even though it was an afternoon class. I've never seen you look shy.
Because
No.
I was around someone who encouraged that. I was around you, who encouraged me to blossom and to bloom. And when you're in safe spaces, talking about creating safe spaces, children need safe spaces, and you're being around you at your school was a safe place for me, was a safe haven. And there are times when I would linger there and not want to go home because I didn't want to deal with the either the pain or the mess or the different things that may happen. So I would linger there. But sometimes if I linger too long, I know I'm going to go home to a cussing out. So I know you remember one day I had to run home after. If not, I'll get a beating or something. But that was, I would say that was one of my happy places. And every child needs a happy place. And that being there was one of my happy places because you feel free, unjudged, to yeah. So that was one of my happy places.
Well, that's
I did.
good to know. So let me hear. So now I'm learning some new things about you. Let's hear some of the mischievous things that I didn't know that was happening during those afternoon. Well, did you have a crush on any of the guys? Because, is there anything that was happening that I did not know?
I think there was only one person I had a crush on, and that was Anthony. Anthony Percival.
Wait, you had a crush on Anthony Percival?
Anthony Percival.
Uh-oh.
That was my crush.
But
I
I
was
didn't know that. I didn't see all looks. There wasn't any looks or anything that made me get suspicious.
I think he finally just kind of gave in, not gave in, let me see, finally acknowledged my liking him for all those years when we got to high school. We were at Bastia High School, and one day it was just out of the blue, out of the blue. And because his mom used to watch us, so we used to, I was always
Oh,
around it.
okay,
So,
okay.
but I was, I told him I was dancing, and I
Wait,
saw
how
one
how
thing.
old were you? Okay, how old were you when you migrated to the United States?
I was about 12.
12. Okay.
I was around 12, 11, 12.
So you were 11, 12, and liking a boy in the afternoons class.
Yeah.
Well, in those days, I don't think girls like boys that young, okay? I'm just
I
messing with
think, and it's interesting when I'm thinking about high school and being that young because I'm like, okay, I'm here. I made my 13th birthday up here. I was 12, 11. And in my mind, that is so, when I look at these young kids now, I'm like,
yes.
I was in high school at 11 years old.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
that was so
Yeah.
tiny, but I was in a dance class and he showed up. And and I was like, oh, he waiting for somebody, but I realized he was waiting for me.
Ooh.
And at the time, I used to go and pick up the daughter of the lady I stayed with, and I went to her preschool and I would wait there for her and they'll pick her up. And so one afternoon, out of the blue, he was there. He was there before me. I didn't even know how he knew because I never told him.
Okay, so I have a big question. Since you had your first crush and then you had to migrate to United States, what happened? Did you and him hit it off and get married and happily ever after? What happened?
No, I wished, but no. I think on that walk home when he walked me home, we told each other how we felt about each other,
Mhm.
and we were starting our relationship then, but I had to hide it because I didn't want to get in trouble. Um, but after I migrated up here, uh, years later, we never kept in touch. Maybe once or twice we might have with each other, but we never really kept in touch. Years later, I found out he died of a brain aneurysm.
How did you
That
feel when you heard that he passed away?
that hurt. That hurt. That hurt. It hurt. It hurt. And there are times sometimes I think about him because I would say I was very much in love with him. It hurt. That one
I'm
hurt.
smiling for the love that you had for someone in the class that I didn't know of, but I'm also sad knowing that he passed away at such a young age at the same time.
Very. I could not, I could not, I didn't want to believe that. I could not process that. That was a little bit harder for me to process. Um, yeah, but the fact that I am happy, the fact that we got to acknowledge our love for each other and our liking for each other.
That was a beautiful story. Now let's talk about the power of your voice and art. This one is interesting to me. You've used art, music, and storytelling in such powerful ways. How has
Mhm.
creativity and expressing yourself helps you? How does that help you heal? How do you use it as a tool for you to bridge and to connect with others in your work?
Um, in my traveling can be lonely because you're away from your family and you're always in a new place, learning in a new state, new city. And so one of the things that has helped me and did help me cope was finding something to do to occupy my mind. And it was always being creative or seeing something around. I think I created I think I made some jewelry boxes or treasure boxes, and I sent them to my family. And I don't know why what I thought about, but it was I don't know, it was 10 or so, and I found these precious stones, and I loaded up the boxes with precious stone and sand dollars, and because I made the boxes myself out of popsicle stick, and some of them were made with actually sea.
I still have mine that you sent me. It's at
And
my
I
office.
everyone that I've sent it to, I still see them. My mom is using hers. Another person I have, I see it and it's up on the shelf. So, and I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know where my creativity comes from, but sometimes I have to see it in my mind to be able to create some. And I think I saw it was in my mind and I was able to create them. It's just like when cooking, because I enjoy cooking. I see a
Yes.
meal in my mind.
You're
And
amazing cook.
I go and recreate that meal in my mind.
And you make jewelry too. How did you get the idea from to make your own jewelry?
Ooh, I won't say out of boredom, but I think the first jewelry I created was with the sand dollars,
Oh,
and I actually um, sent them to gave them to a friend of mine, and she lost them in the ocean. I guess the ocean reclaimed them. But I had to see it in my mind, and I thought these are beautiful, and I actually make some jewelry, and I was like, okay. They have and sandals have little holes in them, so I just have to widen the hole. But I just like doing things. And if I could see it in my head, it would be a challenge. But if I could see it and I could to see how it's done, I could make it. Like my friend just challenged me, and she's wanted me to make her a bracelet out of African fabrics that I have, piece of African fabric, and I'm like, oh. And she's really wanting it, so I'm gonna have to in my mind I have to see it, and I can see it how it could be done. So now I'm gonna have to go and play with it and recreate it for her.
good. So when did you first realize you had the power to bless people with your voice?
Hmm. I think I used to sing as a little girl, but I don't think again, I've never actually thought of myself as good enough. So even with my voice and singing, I was in high school, I was in choir because I love to sing. But I was always very intimidated by others and their voice and everything else. So I never really stepped. I don't know. I think it's that awkward again. I was in an choir there, and um, a matter of fact, I remember the first time I actually sang solo. I was that awkward, and they needed special music, and somebody asked me, and I agreed. I don't know what possessed me to agree, but I did. I agreed, and I sang "When I Get on My Knee" by Jackie Velasquez.
Oh,
Um,
that was a light bulb moment for you.
that was a light bulb moment because I didn't really understood the power of my voice, and I didn't really thought I had that good of a voice. And actually, it was someone, some guy, one of the students there, um, told me that I had a good voice. And then the years afterwards, and another person, I remember that song that you sang, and man, you had a beautiful voice, but I've never actually thought of myself as having a voice because there was always somebody else that was better. There was always somebody else more talented. There's always somebody else who you feel is more worthy and more deserving and who have something who's better. And so that has always been my mindset for such a long time. And even as now, I always have to remind myself, you're good enough.
And it doesn't matter if someone is better, you still have
Yeah.
a, you've been blessed with a voice.
Right.
You can still use it to bless others. I will never forget you traveling to the Caribbean for my mom's funeral and blessing us
Mm.
all that day. I was
Mm.
so honored. That was the first time I've ever had the opportunity to see you and hear you sing at the same time. How about
Mm.
singing a song for us today?
Let's see. Ah, this song is it just came because I thought about it and I'm just gonna sing part of it. There are days when I feel I'm by myself at almost anywhere. Then the days when I feel of letting go and soaring on the wing. But I've learned in laughter or in pain how to survive. Oh, I get on my knees. I get on my knees. There I am before the love that changes me. See, I don't know how, but this how when I'm on my knees, I get on my knees. 'Cause there I am before the love that changes me. And see, I don't know how, but this how when I'm on my knees.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you doing that for me. Oh my goodness, that was a blessing. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
me feel shy.
Okay. So, as someone who's overcome so much,
Hmm.
what lessons do you most hope to pass on to the next generation?
I would say that there's always hope. And really, all you need is one person to believe in you and who believes in you to help to push you and motivate you and encourage you. No matter how bad things may look or may be, use your pain, use your hurt to push you to your success. Do not allow anybody to tell you that you can't. I have been told that a lot, that I can't or I will not. And I don't know, I was maybe a little bit defiant because I wanted to prove people wrong.
Yes, that's right. I like that.
So I did it anyway, even when I was scared.
hmm
Your fears can push you. Fear can be healthy because your fear could challenge you to your next level.
That's right. You can use it to climb, to achieve whatever you want to achieve.
tell you to do some things. There's something that I'm wanting to do that sometimes I'm afraid to do. And, but then you look at other people and you see, well, this person is thriving, this person is doing this. So what is it? False, what is this? False evidence appearing to be real. That's what fear is.
Yes,
False
yes.
evidence appearing to be real. The things that you think, oh, if I do this, then this will happen, or people would not, or people would this, and then you do it, and you're like, oh, you are amazing. Why have you not done this?
Mm-hmm.
Do not allow your fear to stop you from achieving your goals or your dreams. Do
I
not allow.
second. I'm seconding that with you. I'm seconding that. Okay.
And
So before we wrap up, sorry, what did you say?
and do not allow anyone to cheat you out of your blessings of being what God will have you to be,
I like
because
that.
people stifle that out of you. Um, and if I believe that, I will not be a social worker today or where I'm at today.
That's right. Okay. So before we wrap up, I have to share something before I ask my last set of questions.
Okay.
During my time at Serval Early Childhood Training Center in Port of Spain, Trinidad, I learned about the SPICES curriculum. The SPICES, the S stand for spiritual, P for physical, I intellectual, C for creative, E emotional, and S for social. And
Mm,
I've used this framework for years. It has helped me approach life with balance and clarity. A few years ago, after some research, I decided to add the F to the framework. The F stands for finances.
mm.
I'm curious, how has the SPICES plus F lens or any other holistic framework shaped the way you navigate challenges or growth in your own personal life?
And give me the rundown of the spicy
S,
again.
S is spiritual, P for
Mm,
physical, I is
mm.
intellectual, C is for creative, E is emotional, S is social, and the F, which I added, is financial. Financial.
For me, um, the top one that filters everything down and organize everything for you and make everything else flow is your spiritual.
Is what?
It is your spiritual.
Spiritual, okay.
My faith and my trust in God is what has kept me grounded. And with that, everything else kind of falls into place with my emotions. Because when I'm off balance or I'm having these difficult challenges, I go back to my father. I go back to him and ask him to help me, and he helped me regularly. When he sent people my way, and then that takes care of social. And he said, "Go here, and be a part of this or enjoy this," and that takes care of my social. Or he brings people. I tell people all the time, I do not choose my friends. He chooses my friends for me. And so when people come, when he brings people in my life, I take it very personally, and so I want to care for those people because I know that they'll care for me. So even with my finances, I'm a tither, I'm a giver. So you can't beat God's giving no matter how hard you try, right? So all of that for me, he regulates everything for me. My spiritual life, my faith is what has kept me firm, what has kept me from losing my mind, what has kept me, even with family and friends and everything. And even when I've isolated, because I've isolated myself, he bring me back and say, okay, enough is enough. Let's go back. And so even in my career, and working with homeless veterans, for me every day, I tell myself the job that you're doing, Florence, is not hard because the people that you're working with, no matter how sometimes challenging and difficult that they may be, and some of veterans can be very difficult and very challenging, you think about the fact that you have a roof over your head, a warm bed, food in your refrigerator, and they may have none of that. It pushes me to want somebody to have what I have. And it pushes me to treat that person with dignity, respect, and with worth. because I always say, if it wasn't for the grace of God, I could have been anything else. I could have been on the street, drugged out, prostituting, anything else except for his own grace that have kept me. And so I have no right and nothing, because I also think about the fact that the tables could turn at any moment. And in counsel, I tell my students, my people, that I will treat you right, because any day the table turn and I'm coming for you and you probably recognize me, I know you will help me because I treat you right. Or if not me, maybe my children or some, but that passes on to somebody else, because we never know. We see millionaires who said I was homeless.
Yep.
And because somebody gave me an opportunity or treated me right, I got here, and they look up for those people. So I can, when I sometimes go down to the shelter, I sit there in my car and I look and I start to worship and I thank God. I said, but for the grace of God, I am that I am.
Amen.
I am that I am. And I pray for those individuals that they would, and nobody's truly lost. So the spiritual aspect, my faith brings everything else into alignment for me.
Okay, cool. Okay, so where can people find you if they would like to learn more about you and the work that you've been doing?
Ooh. uh, Well, I'm in Knoxville.
Okay. Knoxville, all right. So what's one piece of hope or wisdom you leave with our listeners today?
Don't give up. Do not give up. Do not give up hope. Do not let go of your hope. Because when you say the light is right around the corner, sometimes it literally is. And the minute that you let go or you give up, it's just that next step will be your deliverance and your salvation. Deal with your hurt. Deal with your pain. It's okay. I'm in counseling now. And it has helped me greatly. There's no shame in asking for help
That's right.
or wanting help and reaching out for help. There is no shame in it. There is honor actually in it, because then you're bettering yourself for the ministry God has for you, or to help somebody else, because you cannot help somebody else if you are hurting yourself. It's nearly impossible to help somebody else. So get the help that you need. Give yourself permission to hurt. Give yourself permission to grieve. Give yourself permission to feel, to be loved, to be cherished,
Yes,
because you deserve it.
that's right.
You deserve all the good things, just like anybody else. And you're worthy of it.
I feel so touched just listening to you. I could listen to you all this. Florence, thank you so much for sharing your heart, your story, and your wisdom with us today. Your resilience and compassion continue to inspire me, and I'm deeply grateful for your presence. This conversation was a gift. Thank you for trusting us with your journey. Is there any final word that you have that anything I didn't ask you that you would like to share?
I just want to thank you for the opportunity to be able to share. Um, this was a challenge. I didn't think I would be able to do this, but I feel honored to be able to do this and to be able to share. Oftentimes people are afraid to share their stories because you feel like you'll be judged. And it's okay. Continue to share your story. And thank you for this platform. And I hope and pray that, I don't know who this is going to reach, but that somebody's blessed as a result of it. And that the work that you're continuing to do, because it will give somebody else courage to share their story with somebody else, and to heal. So thank you so much again for this opportunity and for this platform to share.
My
Awesome.
pleasure. Thank you once again, Florence, for this amazing interview. I truly enjoyed it. To my listening audience, join me again next time on this channel for Unraveling Relationships, Emotions, and Desires. Log on to www.unravelred.com to join the conversation.